We're live into Facebook. Thank you all for joining us. Today we've got Haley from RedX. What's up, Haley?
Hello, hello.
And Derek, what's up from Boston? Dude, it's freezing out there.
It's freezing, 20 below. That's why I'm inside doing this inside.
I love that. I love that. All right, Derek, for those people that don't know who you are, give us a rundown as to how long you've been in real estate, where does most of your business come from, and why are you in Boston?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. At this weather, I don't know why I'm in Boston. So 21 years in the business, got into cold calling back in 2008. Hooked up with you guys around 2009, 2010-ish, somewhere in that ballpark, I forget. Tried a lot of systems out, stuck with RedX. I know Mark very well, the owner, and a lot of you guys, and been on the beta side, helping you guys get things going forever. I've been a cold caller since I can remember. You guys, if you guys don't know me, if you ever type in cold call and YouTube, I'm one of the first guys that pops up. I just started doing videos on how to train people how to do it, because when I was trying to learn how to do it, there was no good videos out there except for guys that were banging in the 60s talking about how they laid it down. So I started doing it differently. I started making, I was always a door knocker, but cold calling could cover more ground faster, and I got more deals out of it.
Dude, I love that. I love that. I love what you were saying, those people in the 60s.
Oh man, that's all they do is these old guys in like these weird brown uniforms talking about, well, this is how you do when someone says this. And I'm like, that's not going to work for anybody, you know?
Well, dude, the world changes so quickly now because the generations, they change the way we communicate with each other and how you can really get to that next level when it comes to conversion. So how are you, let's talk about this year, because it's changed a lot. I'm a cold caller. Our team calls expired. We just got 2 expired listings over the last 7 days from RedX, right? So we do this daily. We pound the phones, but how are you seeing this being different right now?
So there's less expireds out there. So in order to capture them, you have to you should be continually calling regardless and building up a list of callbacks, right? So in my area, we start getting a wait until spring in October. So I get a list of those people. So I'm pounding those people all the time. Additionally, I'm going back to expireds from 4 or 5 years ago to kind of hunt some people that, you know, if they lived in a hole for the last 4 years, don't know, but this market's exploding and prices are skyrocketing, and you can pretty much, you know, write your own ticket now. I'm informing those people. So that method, and then also the for sale by owners, but those are the sort of sources of where most of that expired business I'm coming from is coming from.
All right, so you're going a little bit back. You're making sure that you're actually following up, because those people that you're getting instantly either don't want to do anything, or there's just a lot less of them because things are selling so quickly, right?
Yeah, and I've changed my rules. I'm a ferry guy. I've been a ferry guy for a long time, and a lot of that stuff he teaches you ingrains, and I have to get rid of some of his training, because he would say after 30, 60, 90 days, if they don't respond to you, chuck the lead. I got leads there from 2 years ago. I just took a listing in January I've been chasing this guy for 2 years. But again, it's just that continuous call once a quarter or once every, you know, I put him on that list, whatever one I want, that plan to call him, and then he closes them. So you have enough of those built up over time, you just grab them, you know, and nothing feels better than to take another agent's listing and sell it where they couldn't and just rub it in their face.
Dude, wait, hold on. That's your Boston side of you coming out.
That's what they call the mass hole.
Oh, that's I've never heard of that. Mass hole. I love that.
Yeah, mass hole, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. All right, for those of you joining in a little bit late, let us know what city and state or what country you're in. I know we have a lot of you from Portugal and that part of Europe, so I don't know how cold calling works out there, but thanks for joining us. All right, Derek. So when you're calling these people, I need to understand your routine, because when people pick up the phone and they're like, I'm going to use RedX and I'm going to dial once a month and see how it goes. How does your schedule look in comparison to someone like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, basically I call every day. So I get up in the morning, same routine as usual. I work out early. I get in here to my home office starting about 8 o'clock, 8:30, depending on the day. You know, with remote learning with the kids, you kind of adjust it as they go. And then I hop on the phones no later than 8:30, and I go usually to about 11:30, depending on who I'm calling through the system. And I use the dialer, and I sometimes I hand out things myself. And I just stay on the phone, so I try to get something, you know, whether it's a for sale by owner, and expired, my database, or one of those sources of something coming at me. All right. And so just to give you guys a progress, so kind of what I've done so far this year, you know, I typically do 50 deals around a year. Right now I'm running about almost 2 a week now that I've taken, and everything you take sells. I mean, everything I have pending, I think I have like 18 penders right now and probably 7 or 8 sales. So, I mean, you're talking 25, and we're only not even the first quarter's over yet.
All right, let's talk about that, because we have two trains of thought when it comes to taking a listing. You're either going to take a listing at a reduced commission, or you're going to hold on to that commission that you want based on what your brokerage says, or just the standards that you have. Are you flexible on that commission that you take typically when people on the phone say, hey?
I haven't had to adjust any of my commissions since I've, you know, they usually, so to give you an idea, because you guys, you're in California.
Mm-hmm.
So normal out there is 6, right? So normal out in Boston, believe it or not, is 4. It's unbelievable. It's disgusting. So even for me to get a 5 is above them. And when I grab 6s, people are like, how do you do it? You know, because I know my scripts, I know my dialogue. I tell people the benefit of using the system or what I'm going to do differently. But typically I just get 5s. Am I flexible at all? If I sell it myself, I may give them a break on the commission and do it for 4, take a point off, just to be competitive. But I haven't really been asked to do that too much. Once I just say this is 5 and that's it, they're like, okay, and let's just roll, you know?
No, that's true, man. I find the same thing. Once you get talking and they see the value, they don't really negotiate after that. Now, this isn't a competitive market, because for those people that are listening in and don't understand where Boston is in comparison to how the market is, Boston is freaking hot right now. It's like LA. It's like all of the metropolitan areas right now.
Major metropolitan, right?
Yep, exactly. So, Derek, I need to understand, when you're doing the scripts, what does that sound like when you're calling up an expired? What does that initial conversation sound like?
It's pretty easy. Just like, hey, Tristan, this is Derek with Keller Williams. Just give me a quick call today. I saw your home had come off the market. I didn't know if you had sold it or that was still for sale. What's happening with the home on Bellywood Drive?
You know, we just decided to take it off the market because it didn't sell.
That's crazy. And now it sounds like, I don't know if you guys have been watching the papers or talk to your neighbors or anybody. Do you know we're in the hottest market we've ever had in the history of real estate?
Yeah, but I see that, but our home didn't sell. So I don't know what happened.
What do you think was causing it not to sell? Is there something wrong with it? Is it the agent? Is it the price? What do you think's going on with it?
Well, I think I think it's just our particular home in the area.
Yeah.
It might have been the price. I don't know. Maybe it was the marketing.
Yeah. Or a combination of all of them, maybe.
Possibly. I mean, I was talking to my Uncle Sal, and he's like, your home should have definitely sold. Maybe it was the marketing, right? So I don't know, man.
Well, let me ask you what you do know. If when you guys sell this property, where are you planning to go next? Like, where's the next home?
We're planning on just moving over to Florida, only because everybody's moving there and it's nice and warm. You know how it is.
But than where you are now, so you might save some money getting a better house for less money.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't sell it. So what do you think? What are you seeing out there?
I'm seeing everything. So here's what's happening for me currently, and everyone's different. I don't know what happened to your last agent. I don't know until I get there and take a look at home to tell you what I think went wrong. But over the last 16 weeks, I've had a little more than 16 sales, a little more than 1 a week, and everything we list is selling within the first day. So kind of what we're doing in this market is, maybe put the house on the market, list it on a Tuesday, hold all showings to a Saturday, do a killer open house, bring in like 200 people from around the area, get like 30 over asking offers, and then sit you down Sunday at 5 o'clock and go, here's all the offers. Let's pick the best one for you. And then we close the deal out. We don't have to worry about showings, no one catching COVID. You guys are in the house, just a home inspection, if that's if you even have one, and go to closing. So I'm calling you today kind of shocked because I haven't seen too many homes come off at all. And I wanted to reach out to you to find out if you still wanted to sell it. I mean, I know it didn't sell the first time, and maybe you don't understand, maybe your belief in the real estate community might be as strong as it is, but I can assure you your home is very saleable. If you could still sell it, would you want to?
Oh yeah, I mean, 100%. Just, I mean, what do you guys do to sell? How can I be sure that if I use you, you're going to sell my home?
Yeah, it's a good question, because the last thing you want to do is go back on and sit for another 6 months, right?
No, I don't want that. I'm tired of that.
Right. So I don't know what I'm going to do differently until I get out there and see what the last agent did that didn't work. And then I'll show you the plan that I think works. And if it makes sense to you, we can go ahead and list it. And if it doesn't, you can continue to keep it off the market. It's your choice. But really, we won't find out until I come by. I can come out there today at 5 or tomorrow 6, whatever's better for you and your family.
I think if you give me until tomorrow, I can talk to my wife and just find a time. Is this the number that appeared on my phone the best number to call you back on?
Yeah, that's the best number for me. Let me ask you, if you had to guess a time that's better for you and your wife, would it be in the morning, afternoon, or evening? If you had to guess.
Well, probably the morning, only because we're all working from home right now.
Yeah. So why don't you talk to her tonight? We'll schedule this in for tomorrow at 11 o'clock. If for some reason that she doesn't want me to come by and stop by, just give me a text at this number. We'll cancel it. If not, I'll see you tomorrow at 11. That way I can pencil you in for tomorrow.
I love it.
All right. See you tomorrow.
See you. Dude, that's easy, man. Very conversational. Look at you.
Nonchalant. Yeah.
It sounds like you did this a few times last week.
Yeah, every day. Yeah, sometimes.
That's so good, dude. All right. So question, do you always have that massive jug of water next to you?
Yeah, I'm on this new kick this year, man. Trying to drink a gallon a day, it's a challenge.
What's harder, drinking that much water or getting up to go pee as often as you do?
Well, the hard thing is they tell you that once you do it for a couple months, your body will kind of equilibrium will kick in and you won't pee as much, but that hasn't happened. You know what I mean? Right there. So
oh, that's good, bro. That's good. All right. You're using RedX to dial expireds. Are you also calling for sale by owners or just expireds?
No, I dial for sale by owners as well, of course.
All right. So take me through the process of bringing up RedX. Do you just start somewhere? Do you just dial? Do you auto dial?
So I auto dial all of them, and I start at the oldest one first and work my way forward. So okay. These guys are very cocky. They don't need us. It's a very challenging thing for me, because that's why I like expireds more than I like for sale by owners. Expireds know they need a good agent. They had one, it didn't work out. They need someone who's strong, who's confident, get the job done, and has a plan or can map out a way to get it sold. FSBOs tend to be more cocky. They think they know everything. They don't need us. So they're more of a challenge. And really the biggest challenge for them, and the biggest objection I have for them is it's all about money. So if you get them on that level, like, hey, I'm not, and I use this almost every time on there, and it either works or doesn't, which is basically, hey, listen, I'm not saying you can't sell it yourself, Tristan. All I'm saying is I think I could sell it for more and do all the work. And if that were true, I can make the same. Would you be open to have a conversation about it? And if they're like, no, I'm like, click, bye, I'm going to the next person, because only an a-hole is going to say no to that. And someone who's motivated, wants to sell, is going to say yes to that. So if they don't, I'm out. So I'm more lenient for the expired than I am for the FSBOs, just because they're so cocky, and I hate cocky people.
Dude, you're just like me. I just skip it. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. You know what? Screw you.
Listen, in full disclosure, I probably only do 5 or 6 of them a year, but because that makes up 60 or 70 grand a year, that's what I look at and go, okay, I got to call them. So it doesn't take long to burn through them for me. And
no, that's true, man. That's very true. So here I'm showing the window here for expireds. Obviously, this is RedX. Here I have expireds. When I click on expireds, what you're saying, Derek, is that when you go here, it says, look, we already contacted, call back on that one. But when you go here, you start on status and you go and you start with the oldest ones first, right?
Import date, status, whatever. Yeah, I get import date. So I always start the oldest one first. And if they haven't sold themselves by now, because most of them sell themselves, but if they have it and they've been on for a year or 6 months, they're more open to talk with me in the very beginning,
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And so what type of data are you using when you're making these calls here?
What do you mean?
Or do you go and look at the listing information, or do you just kind of wing it when you're talking? Because you're so used to using the script.
I don't really. I mean, RedX is a new thing where they give you data insights, which is very helpful. there, where they tell you a little bit about that if that person has information on them. A lot of them do. But yeah, no, I don't really look at too much. I kind of just talk about the home. If I'm on an expired, you see more. I'll go into MLS while I'm on that, and I might say something like, "Oh yeah, I remember your house. You're the blue house with the pink car on the driveway. Yeah, that's our house. Yeah, I drive by there all the time." I'll just be looking at the listing pictures the whole time. They think I know the house. But as far as FSBOs, you don't really have a lot of the photos, so I'll go with what I have there and just kind of ask them a lot of questions.
All right, man. Well, look, we've been using some of this information on the side here. You can see Maria Sanchez, Enrique Sanchez. We've been using some of this information when we get them to the phone and they have questions. We're like, hey, did you know that this and this and this? I mean, it's been helpful for us. And then we could just crop it. So what I do here, what we've been doing is I have a Mac. So Command-Shift-4, I grab this. Now it's on my desktop and I just text it over to them if they have any questions. So we've been using it that way pretty quickly. So now we go back here. Let me just go back to the view so we can see everything. What do you do when it comes to FSBOs? Do you work the same way or do you work on the new ones first?
No, FSBOs, we work on the old ones first. Right. As far as the expires, we work on the newest ones first.
Got it. So the reverse. Perfect. Right. And do you do geo leads at all?
I have. I haven't done them for a while. I haven't had to. I've been so busy that I haven't had to do it. I'm getting a lot of business from my calls and also social media, believe it or not. I'm getting a ton of stuff from there, which is different.
I love that.
I post a lot of things. So if you guys know me, I'm a guy who posts videos, and I'll turn one listing into like 8 posts, and I'll put it everywhere I can. And with that much stuff, you just get, instead of just always calling, you get people calling you, which is ideally a nice thing to have happen too.
That's very true. All right, so give me a rundown of where you get most of your transactions from. Like, is it cold calling, referrals, online? What does that look like? Just so
yeah, it's shifted. So most time, 9 out of 10 times, if you talk to me any time in any market, it's always cold calling is number 1. In this market, cold calling is dropped number 2, and I'm getting more stuff from database, but it's also social media, which I put a lot of my database in social media. So they're getting messages from me without having to pound them with emails they don't open anyways. And again, the messages they get from me are going to be not to them, but just towards the wall, which is a video of me doing a sold, a live thing of me at an open house, a picture from Canva that I sold, how much more went over asking. And I always try to paint a little story with each listing that I have. Yeah, there you go. There's one right there. You can see it. That house sold. That was a referral from the last lady. We got 60,000 over asking. I had 237 buyers come through there, 22 offers. So every one of those. So I took that same listing. That's a sold I posted today. But if you scroll down, probably a week ago, I did a live video of me out there picking up the sign, and I did like a 5 or 10 minute little thing about how I got this listing, what it looked like, what was it? Yeah, right there. And it's filmed the same day. So when I'm out there doing a live video, I'll cut the live video and then I'll go to the 57-second sold video,
I love that. So you're combining all the old school methods with the new school methods, dude. I love that.
Yeah. And I post it everywhere. So, when you post it here, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, it's the same message on every single thing. I'm not trying to reinvent it. Just this home sold, went 50,000 over. If you want those kind of results, give me a call.
Dude, I love that. So with people trying to focus on prospecting, whether it's expireds for sale by owners, geo leads, just using that old school method,
yep.
What would you say can make someone successful in this market using those methods?
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't succeed at all doing that.
Well, so here's the problem. So you got to understand that, and I coach people, so I teach them this too, that you can't go in this expecting to hit a home run every day. It does happen for sure, but it doesn't happen all the time, especially when you're starting out. So you've got to go in this as a process, a learning process of how to get better, and you'll start to see results. And remember, the same dialogue we use for cold call, this same language of sales that we're talking with people on the phone is the training that we have for talking to people live in front of us. So this is not only you trying to make business, but you're doing self-training because you're learning how to interact with people without sounding like a robot or a police officer doing an investigation. You're trying to have a conversation, and that method makes you more successful at the listing presentation, or when you get in that environment where someone says, I'm thinking about selling. that training, like if you're a cold caller, you're always on, you're ready to go. There's no, I got to think about it, you know? But when you're new starting out, it's very difficult to pick up that phone. The longer you look at this phone, the heavier it gets to pick up. You don't know what to do. You psych yourself out. I've always been a guy who said, I don't care what I sound like. I just hit go and let it happen, you know? And just now it's like habit. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't really get that as much or at all, that cold call reluctance anymore.
All right. So how did you get there? How did you achieve that?
Calling every day and role playing every day.
Well, what scripts did you start off with?
Mike Ferry, 100%. I was a Ferry guy. I've been trained by Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Tony Robbins, Floyd Wickman, you know, and a bunch of other guys in between. And then those scripts evolve, like you said, you know, so you learn a script and it's okay, but you got to change things. So we talked about this before we went on live. Everything's always constantly changing. I tell people all the time, look, when you do these cold calls and you learn something, let's say like me, I'm in Boston and I learned from Ferry, who's in California, we've got to change things a little bit. And now you don't know what at first you have to follow script 100%, but then from getting your butt kicked, you know, certain things you got to change. And so I tell people all the time, the cold call thing is like, it's like the army, right? So we'll talk about this right now. When the army goes into Africa in the jungle, what color is their camouflage?
Oh, in the jungle, it's going to be like greenish jungle colors.
Right. And what color is going to be in the desert?
Desert colors, like you know, the tan colors. Yeah.
And then obviously in the Arctic Circle, what's it going to be?
White.
White. Yeah. All right. So, and their mission is to go into an area, get rid of the bad guys, and secure it. Our mission is to make cold calls. So when you're in California, we got to change our camouflage in Boston just a little bit, just to adapt to the environment we're in. When you're in Ohio, there's certain things there's certain tweaks that you have to learn to do. And you only learn that from doing the calls, getting your butt kicked, role playing with people, trial and error. That's the way. And when eventually you learn your style, you get good. I mean, I tell you what, the best I've ever been was, you know, if you guys hear this in my voice, we're very boom, 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 right? We're very hardcore callers. New York, Boston, we have a thick accent. We want to go at it like bulldogs. California, you guys are softer, man. You have a way of just getting around things. So when we did that little role play, the best I've ever been was I used to get up in the morning, 8 o'clock, role play with East Coast. Then at 11 o'clock, which is your 8 o'clock, I role play West Coast. And I started developing my own sort of kind of cool, like hard hitting, but soft. And once I started getting that, I just exploded.
Love that, dude. So then you're telling me that I have to practice to get better at stuff.
100%. Yeah, it's an easy way to sum it up.
Oh, I love it, dude. It's so good. Well, a lot of people don't even realize that they have to actually practice to get good at stuff, right? And it's just practical. You want to get good at anything, specifically calling people on the phone. I remember when I was telemarketing, because I've been telemarketing since I was 14. Before they threw me on the phone to sell ink cartridges or to do Nielsen TV ratings or Windows, I had to go and practice the script, and I had to start somewhere, even though the script sounded like crap. Right. I had to have something. So do you still have a script set up just in case you get hit with something you didn't know, or just to prompt you in some way, or no?
I used to. And so here's the problem I had. If you guys see my old videos of me cold calling, my walls are covered in scripts. And then I got with Tony Robbins and I got in my emotions and I said, man, I'm surrounding myself with objections. I'm calling them to life, and I shouldn't have them around me. So I got rid of them. So now I don't really, not because of that. I'm in a home office now. I didn't bring anything with me. I pretty much don't need the script as much as I'm not saying that I don't have more to learn. Everyone has more to learn, but I've learned to adapt with everybody. I think the biggest thing is not making anybody wrong. No matter what they say, just kind of like, I understand, and then trying to get them back on track to the conversation. So there's a couple of ways to handle objections. One is to shelve it, just to kind of say, I heard it, put it aside and keep going. Another one is, you know, if they say it 3 or 4 times, you may have to take them down on that and handle it. So it really depends on what the conversation, how it flows and how you respond to it. So I'm pretty laid back on the phones, even though I'm a very forward guy. And direct, but I tend to have that blend of understanding in my voice. At least people respond to it that way. I don't know.
Dude, you're pretty authentic when we role played that one. It just came out naturally.
Right.
want to help. I can see it. You've gotten to the point where it just flows.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that one. And you have Amanda who said she really loves the army analogy. That was really good, dude. So,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it makes sense.
I love that one. I'm going to use it and give you credit, Derek. So that was super solid. I love that one. And then James says, I love this. I can see why Derek is so successful. So it's very true, dude. It's very true. So Derek, where would people go and follow you to hear more of you if they want to see you scripting or calling or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to learn how I do things, if they want like to get into some kind of a coaching program or at least buy an entry level one, we offer $300. They can go to Expired Listing Mastery. It's something I developed.
Okay.
I'm going to have some new modules this year come out, which is going to be a listing presentation, a first sale by owner, and an NLP course. But right now we just have the Expired course, which gives you all my objections. It gives you my scripts and about 12 unseen videos of me calling, and it's $300. So if they want to learn that, they can see it there. That's generally where I post anything that I do real estate related. Otherwise, they can follow me on Facebook.
Perfect, man.
Just
Perfect.
under my name, they'll see stuff.
I love that.
And a lot of agents follow me and just copy everything I put up there. So if I put something up, they copy it. I'm like, take it, man. I probably got it from somebody myself.
All right. So Alvin's got a good question. Alvin's a good friend of mine from Southern California. He says, FSBOs, how do you handle this objection? I told you agents to stop calling me.
Yeah, I understand. You probably have a lot of agents calling. It's the hottest market we're in. Let me ask you, you're selling your home on your own. You've been doing it for the last 3 weeks. Everyone's been calling you. Do you think there's an issue why your home isn't selling right now? I mean, you've been on 3 weeks in the hottest market. Can you tell me why you think your home hasn't sold yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? So everything is selling and you just don't know. So let's do this, if you don't mind. And again, Tristan, I promise I won't even bring a contract to me. Let's sit down. Let me come and take a look at your property. Maybe I can tell you why I think the home didn't sell. You can talk to an agent who is going to give you some idea what to do differently. And if you want to go with me, if you feel the home is better in my hands than your hands, I'll take it over. And if you don't, at least you get some ideas of what to do differently. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I love that. Alvin, that wasn't too hard. I think just going into exactly what he said, right? He says he loves that. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So very good. Alvin, don't overthink it, buddy. Yeah. Dude, question. Are you military? I got that question. Ex-military or no?
No.
You function like it. Somebody said that on Facebook.
A lot of people say that. I get people think I'm a cop all the time, man. You know how hard it is for me to get weed in this town? Just kidding.
That was just a joke.
I don't smoke. But no, I have a buzz cut. I look big. I'm a white guy. They think I'm either military or police all the time, everywhere I go, I drive a big red truck,
Dude. Oh, man, that's good. All you need is a few weapons in your trunk and you're good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, and it's funny. I have, my dad was military, so I have a lot of shirts that have Marine Corps and, Navy on it and stuff like that. And I don't know, people think I am. I guess I have that look.
James says Derek is an MMA fighter. Is this true?
I've never been in the cage, but I present jiu-jitsu, sure. Absolutely.
Oh, there you go. Smooth, confident, and prepared. I love it, dude. I love it. That should be your new slogan.
What is it? Smooth,
confident, and prepared. Look at that. It's like perfect. Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Thanks, James.
Derek's going to call you to brand the rest of his stuff right now.
Yes.
All right, Derek. Thanks for joining us. Haley, anything you want to add here in regards to this whole process? I know you provide the best tool to do this, at least.
Yeah, tell them about the special you have in Haley. You got a special guest running there right now, don't you?
Oh yeah, we do. Thanks. Perfect segue. For everybody on this webinar, I think we just posted a link. If you just click on that link, that will save you the setup fee when you sign up. And I want to talk about, like Derek's been talking about expireds and for sale by owners. We obviously have geo leads, like we mentioned. Derek probably has a pretty big database because he's been prospecting for so long. So he's got a lot of past clients. So for people that don't have a lot of past clients, geo leads is a perfect lead source right now. It's a great way to create inventory right now since inventory is so low. So we have a bunch of options, obviously, to prospect your way to success. So
let me say something about those geo leads if I can. So the geo leads, which is a cool thing that I've started doing with geo leads. You asked me earlier, do I call them? I do call them sometimes, but if I do call them, here's the plan I do. After every home I sell, I go into geo leads and I'll pull 100 homes around or 200 homes around them, get the addresses and the phone numbers, and I'll use that as my address billing for, say, like a direct mail campaign that'll go out for just sold cards. And then I'll keep that same list and I'll follow up that list with a call a week later after I know the cars have been delivered. So now I'm hitting them with, I'm hitting people with a postcard, and then I'm saying, hey, I'm calling up from that thing saying, hey, I'm giving you guys a quick call about that house that sold up the street to James. They told me to send a mail out. I want to make sure you got it, and follow up and see if you guys ever thought about selling yourself. So now they got it. Now they got, I'm somebody that's just not super cold, but something that they may know a little bit because I got the home sold. And they may have questions. They may say no. But again, it's just another way to hit that same lead. So I have that source for the mail out, and I use that same specific source for the callback.
Dude, I love that. Yeah. And do you add people that you kind of talk to into a database, or do you treat RedX as its own database separate from
RedX is its own database for me right now. There is a way to transfer people in and out of that. Hey, you know, the crew over there tells you how to do everything. Listen, I'm Polish, man. It's hard for me to figure stuff out. You know what I mean? I'm sick to the basics right now, but I do take a lot of stuff that I see in RedX and I try to apply it how I can use it. And these guys always send me messages, and sometimes I'll listen to them. Sometimes I want to get webinars, and sometimes I watch them. Sometimes I don't. But sometimes I'll hear something and go, you know, if I tweak this a little bit, I can make this work for me. So you have the biggest part is having all the information of trying to get, you know, what you want, and and they give you like, I don't know if you guys, hey, you let me know if you're doing it, you did do it, or you had it, or it's coming up. Is you guys have the phone number, you have cell phone, you have email. And I think Curtis said, I don't know if that's active or not yet, but you may be getting social media links for people too. So it's kind of cool just to click on someone, send them an email, call them, text them, and then shoot them a Facebook message going, hey, your home didn't sell. You know what I mean? Almost every method is like, where the hell is this guy coming from?
That's true, because you're doing so much on it. And Amanda is asking a great question. What does your daily schedule look like typically?
So for me, basically, you know, in the gym by like 5:36, back here on the phones by about 8:30. I'll go to about 11:30. From 11:30 till 2, I'll do any admin stuff I have. And then from 2 on, I'll do any appointments I have. And if I have to go back for a second round of calls, I may do that. I may not. This year, I've been so busy, I haven't needed to do that. But if I don't have business, I would absolutely be back on the phones at 2 o'clock until I get business. Your job is, if you're in this, if you're doing real estate to make money and it's a career for you, your job is to get leads. So you don't stop calling until you get a lead. You know what I mean? And I don't care that number takes you 500 dials. That number will get shorter as you get better. And as this market shifts, which it's gonna, we all know this is gonna go. This can't sustain itself. When it comes down, like it did in 06, and I was one of the only I made more money cold calling 07, 08, 09 than I did in 04, 05, 06. I don't know if you guys could hear that. I'll say that again. I made more money when the market crashed, and I was using the system because I was calling every day. So I was sharp as a razor. When everyone else was trying to figure it out, I was 10 steps ahead of them already, making those calls, getting it. People are like, how are you doing it? You know, I'm calling every day.
Well, I think what people don't realize is this part of the business, the prospecting, the active prospecting part, whether it's expireds for sale by owners or geo leads, is always going to be relevant. It's just you that has to adapt to that time, right? So like right now, like you said, expires, there aren't as many, right? But you're having to go back a little further, which is great. For sale by owners they are turning for us really quick. But now you turn it around and you fast forward, let's say a year from now, all of a sudden there's a lot more new expireds, right? And now you can pick from those. So it's just shifting, and we have to shift with it, right? We have to get used to that shifting, man. Get comfortable with the shift.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about.
Just don't shift all over yourself.
Don't shift all over yourself. Now you sound like Tony Robbins when he says that.
Yes.
That's very funny. I like that. All right. Derek, anything else you want to add, my friend?
You're a very handsome man.
Thank you. You too, buddy. Look at you. Sexy with that hat.
Thank you. I know. No, that's it, man. I'm glad I had fun on this thing. I hope someone got something out of it.
Oh, dude, totally. I got a couple of texts, a lot of messages. People really connected with you. So I think you brought the energy. You brought the system. See, that was great. Thank you. So look, if you have any questions at all, Derek, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Just my name at gmail.com. They can always email me, dereklipsky@gmail.com.
All right. It's Derek. It's DERIC.
Yep.
Just in case there's no K on that one.
Yep.
And then we did put up a link there for RedX. So thanks, Derek. This was brought to you by RedX, just in case you were wondering. I tagged my team because half of my team does the cold calling and the other half doesn't. But I tagged the team that does to watch this because it's going to resonate with them a lot. So thank you for doing this, man. Appreciate you. Haley, thanks for being on. We appreciate you and RedX. Derek, thanks, buddy. And thank you, everybody, for joining us.
All right.
Thanks for having us. Yep.